At 9:17 a.m., under the cold Los Angeles winter sun, two men stepped out of a white Chevrolet. Their boots struck the pavement with the heavy clunk of steel plating hidden beneath their clothes. The air trembled with the low hum of traffic, but inside their gloves, their palms were sweating. They were wrapped head to toe in homemade body armor, as if technology could make them invincible. And for a moment, it almost did. But what happened next turned this into the most disastrously overconfident heist in US history. Stay with me. The morning of February 28, 1997, began like any other in North Hollywood. Inside the Bank of America on Laurel Canyon Boulevard, employees were starting their day. But outside, Larry Phillips Jr. and Emil Matsarianu, two heavily armed criminals, were preparing for something far bigger. They had spent months modifying ammunition, welding metal plates, and studying police response times. They weren't criminal masterminds, they were men obsessed with firepower, stacking layers of Kevlar until their armor weighed more than 40 pounds. Their plan relied on a simple assumption: the LAPD wouldn't be able to stop them. At that time, officers carried only standard-issue 9mm pistols and .38 caliber revolvers. The imbalance between the criminals' weapons and the police's equipment was almost absurd. Just before entering the bank, Phillips synchronized his watch. Matsariano loaded a drum magazine into his modified rifle. They believed they had engineered the perfect heist. They had no idea that this day would change American policing forever, and expose just how foolish their confidence really was. As investigators later learned, the robbers had built what experts called improvised full-body ballistic armor. It wasn't elegant, but it worked. The discovery shocked law enforcement nationwide. Phillips and Matsarianu had tested armor thickness using real gunfire, adding extra layers where bullets tore through. They even reinforced their groins, thighs, and shins. Their armor could stop standard police rounds at close range. But here's the twist. The robbers didn't understand the limits of their own gear. A later FBI analysis revealed that while the armor protected against low-velocity handgun rounds, it couldn't withstand sustained rifle fire or high 223 rounds. They had created a suit that made them feel invincible, but in reality, they were shielded only from the weapons police happened to carry at the time. That mismatched criminal firepower versus outdated police equipment would become a pivotal lesson. But on that February morning, the two men were about to walk into a bank, believing their scientific breakthrough made them unstoppable. In moments like this, it's strange how human confidence can rise faster than logic. When invention outruns understanding, disaster follows. If you're still with me, let's dive deeper into how this overconfidence unraveled in real time. At 9:24 a.m., the pair stormed into the bank. Their rifles thundered, sending concussive waves through the lobby. Customers hit the floor, palms pressed against their ears. Inside the vault, Phillips paced with mechanical precision, shouting time limits while Matsarianu collected cash. Their goal was $750,000, but a recent armored car pickup meant the vault held only a fraction of that. Frustration built. Every second loss meant the police were getting closer. Outside, LAPD officers arrived within minutes, but they immediately realized something was wrong. Their rounds bounced off the robbers' armor like pebbles hitting metal. The officers felt the helplessness of being outgunned, watching sparks flicker with every impact. Then the situation escalated. Phillips walked out firing a rifle modified for fully automatic fire. Bullets tore through patrol cars. One officer later described this sound as standing next to a train while it derails. A civilian was hit. Officers were hit. Incoming rounds punched through car doors and shattered windshields. But the cracks in their plan were spreading. Their ammo was burning too fast, and their escape car was already cornered. The turning point came from a decision that would enter law enforcement history. 4 LAPD officers rushed into a nearby gun store and borrowed AR-15 style rifles and ammunition. It was the first time officers had armed themselves with high-powered rifles during an active firefight in LA. This moment exposed the second major truth of the case: Phillips and Emmy, the SC, Heonu armor could not withstand 223 rounds. As officers deployed the new weapons, the tide began to shift. Phillips, attempting to reload, was struck in the hand. Blood spattered across his gloves. His grip faltered. The pain cut through his adrenaline like ice. Still, he kept firing, retreating toward the getaway car. But his weapon jammed. Then his ammo ran out. Police later said his rate of fire was so reckless that he burned through nearly 1,100 rounds. Cornered, Phillips switched to a pistol weapon, far weaker than the rifles now pointed at him. The imbalance he once exploited had flipped entirely, and outside Matsaryaну trapped in the getaway car was about to face the same inevitable truth. Their armor had given them time, but not safety. Witnesses said the neighborhood felt like a war zone. Smoke drifted across the street. The heat from burning car tires mixed with a metallic smell of blood, gun oil, and shattered asphalt. Residents hid behind furniture, listening to bullets punch holes through their walls. Officers described feeling fear, frustration, and disbelief. One said, "It didn't make sense. We weren't trained for this. Nothing was working." Eventually, Phillips was hit multiple times. When he realized he could no longer continue, he took his own life. The sound echoed between Billings' final, tragic punctuation. Meanwhile, Matsaryaну attempted to escape with the car, but the engine was disabled by police gunfire. Surrounded and wounded, he was pulled from the vehicle. Officers noted, he seemed shocked almost, confused that his armor hadn't saved him. His confidence had collapsed into physical pain and breathless panic. In total, 12 officers and 8 civilians were injured. But unbelievably, no bystanders were killed. When the gunfire finally stopped, the silence felt overwhelming. The city stood still, processing what had just happened. The heist that was supposed to be perfect ended in chaos, tragedy, and absolute failure. In the months that followed, investigators reviewed every second of the 44-minute gun battle. Experts dissected the criminals' armor, weapons, and strategies. The conclusion was consistent. Phillips and Matsaryanu didn't just commit a crime. They exposed a national vulnerability. The heist forced police departments across the United States to upgrade weapons, armor, and tactics. Patrol rifles became standard. Body armor improved. Training scenarios began, including heavily armed suspects. But beyond the tactical lessons, there was a deeper human one. Overconfidence, especially when mixed with firepower, creates blind spots large enough to swallow logic. Their attempt to engineer invincibility only highlighted how fragile human planning truly is. Today, the North Hollywood shootout is still studied in academies, universities, and forensic labs. It stands as a reminder that a single event can reshape an entire system. The criminals believed they were unstoppable, but their own arrogance made this one of the dumbest, most self-destructive heists in American history. Their armor may have slowed the bullets, but it never protected them from their own decisions. Stories like this reveal how thin the line is between confidence and catastrophe. What do you think led to their downfall? Was it the armor, the planning, or the belief that they were smarter than everyone else? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you want more real-life mysteries, disasters, and high-stakes discoveries that reshaped the world, let me know which case I should cover next. Your curiosity keeps this channel alive. So stay curious, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.